And let's get our trim painted here as well. All right, so let's double click in here, and then I'm just gonna add a material. We're not gonna use a texture image, and you could just make it some weird color, you know, we'll make it like a purple and say okay. And then I'll just start painting. Now look what happened there. Just like I said before, when you paint the outside of a group, that happens. Undo that. You got to be in here. All right. We will only want to apply a material to a surface. And so I'll just kind of zip around here and get all of these guys in place like that. All right. And then we're going to have these like overhangs. And so, you know, it's possible that you could just like right click on these. Let's try this. Right click, intersect faces with model. So that worked. That did what I want it to do. So now I can paint those, and I can intersect faces with model and kind of paint my overhangs. And you know, you just want to kind of make a clean model as we've done before. It's worth spending the time to just make it right. You know, break up your surface rather than like painting the whole, you know, it's easy to do that, but we want it to like show the proper way. And so I'm going to go through and actually, you know, paint everything that's the way it's supposed to be. Intersect faces with model. This one, I'm not going to do that because it'll it'll intersect with that trim as well. We don't want that. So that looks pretty good. You know, we could kind of carve all this out at some point, but intersect faces with model like that. Don't need any of those lines. So, you know, you could totally carve all that out, but I think I'm okay with leaving that for now. And we'll draw our line in here. Like that, and orbit around to the back, and we've got the same thing kind of happening here, and get those in there like that and that. And let's try this one. Cool. Here's our line tool, back to paint bucket tool. All right, so I think we're all good on this one. One last surface to divide over here, and then we're gonna fix this other little piece here. And for this, just paint around. That looks good. And this one is already divided up, so I think we're actually in really good shape on this one, like that. Okay. Now, just like we did before, I think I deleted that photograph out of here. So maybe I'll throw, well, we could go back to our view here. You know, this is kind of a, I don't know if it's white or if it's off-white or what that is, but you know, you're kind of catching everything in the sun. It's definitely lighter than this color. I don't know. I guess I would probably, usually I try not to think too hard. I would just drop my picture in here and I would just go sample it off my picture, just to kind of make it a no-brainer decision. So we'll do this. I will click on this sample from basically like a pixel, and I'll click, I don't know, like maybe right here. That's like a good sampling. And so there's our trim color. All right, so I know I do have some Sherwin-Williams paint colors for this, so we'll get there eventually and really dial it in. But for now, we're just kind of getting the right texture on the right surfaces. So I'm going to continue on with this, and then, you know, it's like I want to use one advantage of like grouping everything together. Like for instance, grouping all this trim together is that you could like double click in and like paint it all at the same time, where I can't really do that right now. Like see, like right here, I just triple click in and then paint the whole thing in one shot. You know, but the way I built this particular model, because it's specifically for visualization, I don't have that ability, but you know, that's okay. This will only just take a few moments to get this thing dialed in, and then we'll be on to the next step. All right, so like that, and that. So let's just kind of zip through some of this. There we go. So there's a good example, you know, where I use Profile Builder and where I had that component. Makes it really nice and easy to just double click in and get it. So, all right, keep on rocking over here. Clean up. Yeah, this is a good chance too to like go through and just look for any of those weird little lines and mistakes, you know, and just kind of get everything cleaned up, get it all perfect like this. Get that material in there. There we go. Being very, very thorough when you're texturing the top of that trim piece, but hey, if it's supposed to be painted, let's paint it. All right, and then, you know, these are going to be really nice and easy with, you know, since we used, we did group these. Check this out. If when I'm painting, if I hold Shift, that'll hit everything. It's kind of like a material swap. Like within this group alone, if I hold Shift, and when I click on this material, it's gonna replace everything with this material being the default with the active material. And you can see those three little squares that appear like that. That's pretty cool. All right, and oh, we do have like a little bit of something showing through on our windows. What is that all about? It's like our instant window didn't quite cut exactly where I wanted it to. That's a little bit of a bummer, but we'll see how it shows up and whether we fix that right now or later. So, and am I doing this right? This is all the same trim. Yeah. Just looks a little bit dark. It's okay. And what are our windows doing? Our windows are white. Yeah. Okay. Keep on rocking. Paint bucket tool. Back here. Like that. That. All right. All right. These guys were done one at a time. That was kind of early on when I first started using the profile builder. And there we go. Get these all painted up. All right. Okay, I think that's about where we need to be, at least for the first pass on materials. Oh, spoke too soon. Just a little bit more here. Nope. And then this guy, I think we'll just paint the whole thing. I think we need to kind of lighten this up a little bit. Just add more white, and we'll track down those color swatches. But it is kind of nice to be able to, you know, have some contrast to it when you're working with it, you know, before you dial it all in. And, you know, it's just like, it helps to just see it with a little bit of contrast, so you know, like, you know, what's been painted and what has not. Like, for instance, I missed this door, so let's do that. And, you know, it's all good to move on and you know, come back and, you know, find this stuff too. So here's a good example of like using the paint bucket tool, holding Shift and hitting the whole thing at one time, being sure that we're only assigning materials to surfaces, and like that. There's our garage door. See, the garage door was more like matching this color, so I guess we need a board and batten paint color like that. So let's add a material, and then I'll make it really dark, and then I'll just kind of double click in here and do that material swap by holding shift, paint this one as well. And then I'm going to sample a color from my screen. And so I guess I'll just sample, you know, this one, and then maybe I'll just like lighten it up a bit. And, you know, like I said, we'll get on to, you know, dialing these in perfectly. So, you know, the brick is going to be a really good example of like something that, you know, the brick and the siding really need to be dialed in. So we use this technique of like the using the photograph and the projecting those textures. But, you know, for this one, I might just go back to our brick cladding and siding. This is one material that is pretty generic. So that's our siding. You know, we can always edit this siding material and, you know, pick up the color and make sure it's colorized and, you know, see if that's like a good material to use, which it looks all right. So see, if I like that one, I can hold Alt, sample it, hold Shift, and swap it like that. You know, so everything at the base level of the model got swapped out, but you'll notice that I did miss this one little one here, so it doesn't reach inside of groups. But let's see, we'll just go with our kind of standard trim color here and here, like that. All right, and then like the front door, I don't know if we have a photograph that shows what that front door is actually doing there. Like, I don't know what color it is. Kind of, it looks red. I can't tell for sure though. That's okay, we'll just pick a color. And so we'll double click in here, add another material. I don't really pay attention to material names. You know, it's just kind of like, I'm just going to swap it out in Lumion, and as long as it's applied, you know, to the right surface, and I use the same material over and over, I'm in good shape. You know, it's like I don't find the need to name materials. It seems like every project it's very rare that I would like have a material library that like really truly services all of the materials I need. All right, so now with this window, I might try and break the rules and just, you know, paint the one window, paint it with like one shot, because these are all the default material. And I'm sure that Chuck Valley put into his instant door and window a way to, you know, paint everything, you know, assign a material. I'm just going to paint everything with another new material, and this one I'm just going to make it green for the time being, just so I can really see it appear. And notice that I'm like painting the I'm actually painting the groups so that it soaks up the materials. So I am kind of going against this idea of only applying materials to surfaces, but for good reason, because this particular material, it doesn't have a texture image. It's just going to be a color. And also, I don't feel like double clicking into each one of these and sorting that out. If you like this video, click the BD button to subscribe to our channel. Every week we post new videos covering SketchUp, Layout, Lumion, and our Condoc Tools extension. If you are a professional architect or interior designer, you're going to love our tutorials.